Okay, good morning, 7th grade ELA. For your Edpuzzle lesson today, it's going to be more of a mini lesson going over Checkpoint 2 exam yesterday and breaking down some of those questions using the 5 steps of question analysis. Before we get there, take a look at your quick activator. Think about the checkpoint exam you took yesterday. What strategy do you use when you get to the multiple choice or the multiple select questions? And what I mean by that is, do you read the questions first? Do you use process of elimination? Do you look back in the passage for your answer? Explain in 3 to 4 complete sentences. I'm going to give you just 2 minutes to get down a few sentences. What do you do when you get to multiple choice and multiple select questions? How do you go about answering them? 2 minutes and begin. Go.
It's like, wait, but you're here too.
Okay, so you could have graded yourself and you could have checked over, did you fully answer each part of the question? Do you have at least 3 to 4 complete sentences? If so, that would have been that 100 out of 100. As we look down at our objective today, you'll see that our objective is that I can analyze from Checkpoint 2 tests by using the 5 steps of question analysis. Again, this is going to be more like a mini lesson since we've done this before. So go ahead and flip to your guided notes so we can do a quick review of what the 5 steps of question analysis are. So it's really important that as you're going through any sort of testing situation, that you're thinking through the question and you have a game plan. Good athletes have a game plan when they go into the big game of how they're going to run the plays, how they're going to actually execute and be successful. And that's the same thing that you want to be able to do when you sit down to take any sort of test. So we've done this before. If you remember it, you can go ahead and start filling in. But the first thing you should do when you get to a question is you're looking for those keywords. Those could be key, and you're going to write down the 2 to 3 keywords in the question. So that could be key verbs like analyze or explain. That could be a word like best that's in all caps. That could be a word like theme. Any sort of keywords in the question that stick out. Step 2, you need to identify the question type. Basically, is the question a multiple choice question? It's only going to have one answer, or is it multiple select? So you want to look in the question for those keywords that say, for example, choose 3, choose 2, or select all that apply. Sometimes 10 ready will be kind of tricky with that. We get down to step 3. What is the question asking? So you need to actually complete this sentence stem. The question is asking, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to fill this in your own words. So you're going to tell me in your own words, this question is asking for me to choose the best piece of evidence to support my answer, or whatever it might be. Step 4, wrong answers. You're going to get rid of at least 2 answers that you know are wrong. So this is step 4 is really where you have to start thinking critically. All right, which answers do I know are wrong and don't answer the question or is not going to be the best answer choice, and then you're going to cross it out. And you're just going to write just the letter of both of those two answers. Finally, step 5 is ITAB, which stands for is the answer because. So you're going to complete whether you would say A, B, C, or D, whatever it is the answer because the text was talking about, or because this piece of evidence best shows, however you're going to explain. That could be a piece of evidence, or that could be just your own explanation. So today's mini lesson is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to have you take out your Checkpoint 2 exam from yesterday. So right now I've got an example of, or I've got the actual Checkpoint 2 exam. You guys read the text from Animal Farm. Because we read it on Tuesday and you read it in class, I'm not going to sit here and do a model read through you, but if you want to pause at this time and reread back through the text, you go ahead and feel free. But here's how you're going to be earning back some extra points on your Checkpoint exam today. In a minute here, I'm going to give you the answer key from yesterday's test. So you're going to be able to go through and you're going to be able to mark. You're going to put a check mark if you got the question right. Now, for example, this first one was a multiple select. So you might have gotten 2 of the answers right, partial credit, but you also might have gotten 1 of them wrong. So again, when I reveal the answer key here in a minute, you're going to go through your whole test, and you're going to put a check mark if you got the question right. You're going to put an X, and you're going to circle the correct answer. After I reveal the answer key, then you're going to be getting to the guided practice to do the 5 steps of question analysis. So, for example, if I were to have gotten number 2 wrong, I'm going to then come to my packet and I'm going to start doing the 5 steps of question analysis. So I would say, okay, question number 2, that's the one that I'm on. Step 1 of question analysis, well, I need to look back at my notes. Keywords. So I'm going to say, okay, what were some of the keywords in question number 2? Well, I see the word best, I see the word inference, and I see the word power. Each of those would be keywords that I list right here. You're going to follow the 5 steps step by step. If you get confused, look back at your notes. Do not just say, Mr. Wilson, I don't know how to do this. Look back at your notes for help. So at this time, so once you have corrected 1, 2, 3, and 4 of your questions, you have the chance to earn back several points of credit towards your Checkpoint exam. So at this time, I'm going to reveal the answer key. Once you see the answer key, I want you to look back and mark which questions you got right, which questions you got wrong, and identify the questions that you are going to be fixing. So here's the answer key. Number 1, the correct answers for the multiple select were A, B, and E. So right now, please put a check mark if you got each of those right. If you got all 3 of those right, you know you don't need to look back and fix number 1. The correct answer for number 2 was D. Correct answer for number 3 was D. Correct answer for number 4 was A, 5A, 6A. Take the next 30 seconds to look back, put a check mark next to the question that you got right, and fix and circle the answers to the questions you got wrong. Okay, so at this time, you should have gone through, you should have put a check mark next to each of the questions you got right, you should have circled any answers that you got wrong, and put a mark next to those questions. So at this time, you're going to be released to independent practice. I'm not going to walk you through this since we did this about 2 weeks ago. But again, here's your task because I'm about to set the timer, and it's going to be independent practice. You're going to come to our 5 steps of question analysis practice. It says use the 5 steps of question analysis to break down each of the following questions to arrive at the correct answer. Well, I've already given you the correct answer, but you've actually got to go through and you've got to eliminate the wrong answers. You got to tell me what the question is asking. You got to tell me what the answer was and why. I'll be checking for those explanations. You need to choose 4. So you're going to do this 1, 2, And when you get to your exit ticket, 3, 4. 4 of the questions you should be doing the 5 steps for. Now, if for some reason you did not miss 4 questions, or if you somehow got a 100, you're going to choose the 4 questions that were the most challenging to you, and you're going to be doing those 5 steps of question analysis. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and set the timer. Again, your task, 5 steps of question analysis for 4 of the questions. Again, you're earning back some partial credit for each question that you are fixing and correcting. And at the end, I'll collect up this packet for not just a classwork grade, but also towards extra points on your actual test. 10 minutes is going on the timer, working through the 5 steps of question analysis for 4 of the questions you got wrong on yesterday's checkpoint exam. And I will leave this answer key up in case you need to look back and check your answers. 10 minutes on the timer, and go. So I'm going to pause the timer here, but you still have about 5 minutes to be working through to make sure that you've completed all 5 steps fully of the question analysis for those 4 questions that you missed. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. If you've not fully finished, still take the time to fully finish. But thank you for your attention. Hopefully you were able to earn back some points on your checkpoint exam today.